This is a test of my carbon dioxide box that was made for me. So this is just a better box than what I had before. So the hissing noise that you hear in the background is the carbon dioxide that's being injected into the box by this tube. There's the carbon dioxide tank. And inside there's a wasp. So the wasp is alive. The anesthetic effect of the carbon dioxide will keep the wasp still enough for me to photograph it in my setup that I've used before to demonstrate mostly dead insects, but this is probably a better demonstration of when you shoot an insect using the Cognisys focusing rail and you don't kill it, or it's not dead, it's alive. And then as soon as the photographs are taken, the insect does not die, it's alive. So I'm gonna run some pictures now after it settles in. I realized that when I did the first set that the batteries had died on this particular light up here with a honeycomb grid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redo it again, except I'm gonna go down to 5 microns. And when I go to 5 microns, it should be a lot of pictures. So again, I start my starting point about there, and then I'm going to move in maybe right about there, just so that I could start to see a little bit of the thorax up on top and the head is out of focus. And then of course, because I have the ISO set high so that I could see, then I've got to go back to ISO 100 at ISO 100 at 1/60th of a second. And when I do that, the rail is going to jump to 422 pictures. It's going to take about an hour to do that. And then I want to see if really there's a difference in whether or not the wasp survives. It should. And then I'll check back in an hour. And here it's running and the exposure is a lot better. Here's the setup again. I've got 4 lights, Alien Bees, a 1600 with a honeycomb grid, and 2 800s with snoot. And then I got another 400 in the back here with another snoot to provide a rim light. We've been going about almost an hour and I still need 24 minutes to go. 260 and 422 images. The Cognisys rail, you can't see, moves very slowly, as in moves in increments of 5 microns, which no human can move in those precise increments for that many steps of 422. So this is the box. The box is airtight because it was CNC'd to very tight specifications. The only thing I wish is that I could have a better system instead of that plastic muffin bag to go between the box and the lens and the camera, but it works. And all of these pieces slide in and out, and it also has a top piece, so it's got a hole here in the front to shoot horizontally, and if I wanted to shoot vertically, then I have here, except that in shooting vertically I would have to use this older MP4 copy stand that I have to shoot down, and then I just have to slide the box over with the top. And hopefully the wasp is going to survive in about 23 minutes after being here almost 2.5, well, about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm rolling the camera back on the rail, and then I'm going to open the box. So first it has this clear shield that keeps the CO2 from escaping, and then it has a series of 4 plexiglass that are photo grade that diffuses the light. So the whole box has a light box. So it uses this little magnetic thing to get it out. And there's the wasp. So it's not gonna sting me because he's in here. So let's check on the wasp in about, oh, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. See if he comes through. I'm gonna roll the camera back again, and of course that's the plastic tube. I mean the metal tube that I use, and then there's the microscope objective that I use. So I'm gonna kind of unscrew it here so you could see. So it's a 4x plan microscope objective, and it's on this metal tube that then goes to an adapter, because that's an EF mount. And of course this is an RF because I'm using the Canon R7 to give me even more magnification. And what I was talking about is this is just a muffin bag that goes over the tube so that it's able to kind of keep the CO2 in there. And then it just has a stage, which probably should be cut out a lot nicer. And that stage just sits on a little mini, I guess you could say a little tripod head mount. I'm trying to see if I have one lying around here, but these are very simple, inexpensive heads that you could get any kind of a mount to sit on. So this is what's inside the box. So the box at the bottom has a thread. So this is threaded into it. And of course it's not pretty, but I have some nicer ones. And it just screws into the bottom down there. And here inside profile, you could see the tube and how that tube connects to the camera, the R7, and the microscope objective up here. At the top. I've got to do a much better video to introduce this box and to see how it works. So I've moved over to a friend's house for a cocktail, and I brought the Wasp with me. And there is some movement, so it's been out of anesthesia for maybe about 10 minutes, and the wings are moving. So I suspect that this Wasp is going to survive. Here we are 40 minutes after the Wasp came out of the carbon dioxide chamber. It seems to be doing quite all right, and as soon as it's a little bit more active, I will release it. So I'm gonna cover it back up because I don't want it to get out of this house while we're having adult beverage. Go. Okay, it's been now almost an hour and maybe 45 minutes, and the Wasp is doing quite well. So I just wanted to prove that it would survive, and I'm going to release it so that it could fly away. And there it goes. It went away. It's gone. I use Helicon Focus to focus stack. So once I have all of the images saved on my computer, then I select the images, and I use method B, where the radius is at 15% and the smoothing is at 4. So once all of the images are selected, then I open them. So they're all on the Helicon Focus program, and then I hit the render button. And so the program or the algorithm then starts to analyze each of the images, and my computer is spinning rather loudly, and that's even though I have, as of 2004, a pretty beefy graphics card, but it's very intense on the machine to process over 400 photos to come up with a final focus stack image that has an awful lot of details. And so as the algorithm picks that first focus point that I started with near the antenna, it starts to build the images, and it's going to go from this front focus point to that final focus point that I showed in the video. And the program actually does it in black and white, and you can start to see all of those details. And then eventually it's going to start to build out the head. And again, remember that this Wasp was under carbon dioxide for 2 hours and 20 minutes. And here come all of the details. As Helicon Focuses actually finishes, the final image is not going to be in black and white, it's in color. So you really can't get a perspective for it here on the video of a computer screen. I need to then take it into Photoshop and clean it up a little bit so that you can really see all of the details that this process shows in the portrait of a wasp head. This is the final image, and in retrospect, it's a little bit soft in the focus down here. And that's probably because I should have picked that as the end point, and I didn't. So because I picked up here, this is a little bit not the best selection. It should have been back here, but at least from the probably this area up to the top, everything is in clear focus. But the purpose of this was to demonstrate that the chamber does work, and that with carbon dioxide, the wasp survived despite being gassed for a total time of about 2 hours and 20 minutes.